I'm in the city, I miss the color green. There's nowhere in Toronto that still feels like wild, like you can go to be by yourself in nature. Just walking to school in just a concrete jungle, it's kind of disheartening. But at the same time, I love getting lost in a crowd. And I always feel like you come to a new city, you're a fresh face, you're just one more person in the crowd. You can be anyone you want to be. You can kind of define yourself in this sea of people, and no one's paying attention, no one's really watching. So you can just do you and kind of get lost in the crowd.
I went from, what's more of a farm town to the city life, so it was quite an adjustment. I would identify a home with the people you are surrounded with, and I'm so used to having a family around me at all times that because I don't have that anymore, it's hard to associate it with a home because I'm pretty much by myself a lot of the time. I don't have anyone waiting downstairs for me or, just kind of like waking me up in the morning and wishing me a good day and, those kind of things. It's interesting that in a city full of people that are around you and there's just faces everywhere, and it's interesting that nothing is the same as having like one person that's really close to you that you can confide in or that will be there.
It's nice being at home. Like, my dad lives on a ravine, and so coming from the city where I go to school, like right in the heart of it, and going back home, it's such a divide, even though it's only about a 40-minute commute. I feel like I'm somewhere halfway across the world. If I crane my neck, I can still see like tall buildings and offices from where I live, but it just feels like I'm so deep into nature, and like I can like see the stars, and I feel like there's no pollution and stuff, even though I'm still so close. When the house was being built, my brother and I would just go into the ravine and just play and go into the creek and have so much fun, like finding stuff and like playing in the park. And we were always like really outdoorsy kids, and so we would always go like with our mom and bike down and play there and stuff.
We used to be outside playing a lot when we were growing up.
We had no choice. My parents would say, get out.
I think there used to be more family time. Like you'd sit around and play games or things like that, whereas now you watch television. You just spent a lot of time playing outside in fresh air and swings and
Parks
tag and hide and seek and, games and with other children. Those are happy times that we looked at our own childhood, then more happy times raising our daughters, and then more happy times with the grandchildren.
Well, except when I had to drive them to school and they put their muddy boots on my back seats and stuff. That was... That's what it was.
Those are the good things. Those are the good things that we look back on now.
No regrets.
It gives you all the good memories, is looking back on things like that, right?
When my brother hangs out with his friends, they're playing on video games. And even though there is a connection in that, and that they're talking on their speakers and they're on their microphones, making fun of each other and whatever, is that the same? I don't know.
I have two younger sisters, so one is around my age, and the other one she just turned 9. So she has grown up more in that technology of like smartphones and like iPads and stuff that like we didn't necessarily have when we were like maybe from like the age of 1 to 10. That's kind of concerning to me, because being able to like connect with the whole internet and outside world at such a young age, like that takes away a certain level of innocence in my opinion. Our generation is lacking in that, being able to talk to each other and like starting a conversation with random strangers. Like people just don't have that type of conversations anymore, as I feel like they probably used to.
Those brief texts cannot in any way encapsulate the total experience of chilling with the boys, you know what I'm saying? Like with this totally digitally connected social sphere, really all it does is remind me that I'm so far from them.
Reading week, there was a few days where I just didn't have my phone because I was so busy doing stuff, and there came a point of it that might have somewhat been alcohol induced, but I lost total track of time, and it was for probably 5 hours I spent at this party just playing music with all these people. And I guess, the argument can be made that, we were using technology because we were playing instruments, but there was no clocks in the room, no one had their phones out, and it was interchanging, just different people going in, just playing and playing and playing, without stopping. And then my buddy just looked up at me, he's like, dude, it's 5:30 in the morning. But it was so beautiful because we just hadn't seen where the time had gone, and we were so into it at this moment. It was like what was going on inside that living room of a house was separated from the universe entirely.
Mom used to get all the kids on my street together, and we would play kick the can at night. And we used this green box that was this electric box that sat outside my lawn. We'd use that as the can, and we'd all hide and take turns being the one to find everyone and racing to hit the box. And we had everyone on the street, even the people that weren't our friends.
We go to restaurants and see families of 4, everyone with their own electronic device, doing whatever they think is important on these things. And I think that is kind of a shame, because it's family time and nobody's utilizing it.
The internet as it stands is going to be so incredible, such an incredible richness of information for any future civilization, any alien race to just pour through and see kind of the essence of our humanity. We've never had that before. It took mankind thousands of generations to invent the wheel. We learned how to fly in 1909. We landed a man on the moon in the 60s. The first computer was built in 45, and now we're capable of VR. And I think things are really picking up now. It's cool to envision where technology is leading us, because it's almost like a synthesis. Mankind and technology is not they're not concrete elements. They're always playing off each other. And in a sense, we dictate through our wants, through our desires, through our fears, through our consumption. We dictate where technology will go next.